Okay, we're live again, and we're going to go over cueing for fetal cat-cow. This is also a warm-up pose. It does not matter how high or low you have the hammock. Usually we do this right after Banasana or crescent moon, and I know this is repetitive, but this is for reference later. So before, we were in the hammock on our backs, right? For this one, instead of being on the backs, I cue to maybe pull down on the hammock with the hands and come onto one side or another. So for this, I would say turn onto your left side. So the hips are stacked and shoulders are stacked, as if you're lying in your bed at night on your side. And then we reach the arms above the head again, so the biceps are beside the ears. And again, this is when you're teaching this in the class, this is not something you're going to be doing with them. So we clasp the hands together above the head, reaching towards the back wall. Release the index finger. And on the inhale, we're reaching and stretching the hands and feet behind us. And then exhaling, bringing the knees to the elbows, bending at the waist, chin to chest. And then inhale, reach and stretch behind like you're just waking up in the morning. We're opening the heart chakra and solar plexus. And then exhale, come to that tiny little cannonball, squeeze the core, squeeze all that stale air out. And then inhale, bring that prana, new air, new life force into the body. And then exhale, chin to chest, knees to elbows. Squeezing at the core. So we usually do 3 counts of that. And then sometimes, before we go straight into the other side, I want to tell them to just relax in this pose for a minute. It's about being present in our practice and just notice what it's like to be supported here. Notice maybe what the fabric feels like and what it's like to be suspended in midair. What does it look like? And just take a moment and relax. And then after a breath or two, we'll reach up for the fabric, come to the back, and then come to the other side, because you want to do it on both sides. Okay, so again, since aerial is a new practice for some people, this is a foreign thing. So they may be on their sides, or they may not even be on their sides yet. So, just going around and walking around and making sure that the students are okay and on their side and cueing them, and the spotting is the same as when they're on their back. So if you're not understanding to make this shape, this back bend shape, so sometimes I'll say open the heart or come into, sometimes if I say come into a back bend, they start to bend the knees. So, keep the legs straight. We're just opening up the front side of the body. But if they're laying in here on their sides, the same thing happens. When they're inhaling, you kind of gently press your knee into them and just gently pull their hands and legs towards you. And then exhale, and you want them to kind of curve into this tiny little ball. And so sometimes I will stand in front of the hammock where they can see me if they're having issues and try and show them first. Like bring the chin to the chest and the knees to the elbows, bend at the waist. So that's how I try to help them get into the position a little bit more, because we're having that extension and flexion with the spine right now instead of that lateral motion, so we're warming it up in the opposite direction. So you always want to warm up the spine before we get going in any practice. Okay. Any questions on that? No? Okay. I'm trying to give you a lot of different cueing because you want to maybe not say the same thing every time and get into some different ways of communicating.